What's going on, everybody? It's Fragged Out, Swagged Out, and you already know why I'm here today. I'm going to discuss a really amazing tobacco fragrance, and it's fitting because it's supposed to be Tobacco Week. So I'm gonna close out the week with discussing this fragrance right here, Tabac Doré by Bortnikoff. Um, Bortnikoff, if you don't know, is a house that kind of prides itself in creating fragrances with really hard to get um, fragrance notes, ingredients, raw materials, the finest of the fine, and really nice presentation always. I don't have a box here, but you're not going to put the box on. You're going to put the juice inside. You see the liquid inside. It almost looks like ink that you can write with, but really strong concentrations, really long lasting fragrances with high quality materials. So with Bornikoff, you're gonna get what you paid for. You're gonna get a fragrance that stays on you for hours and hours and hours, probably longer than you actually want it on you. And this particular fragrance right here, Tabac Doré, is no exception. It's one of the best tobacco niche fragrances in the industry. And I say that because when you think about designer fragrances, you kind of think about fragrances that everyone's gonna love. And this is not for everybody. This is a strong, not necessarily mass appealing, but if you are a fragrance enthusiast, if you are a tobacco fragrance enthusiast, you are going to love this fragrance. So first things first, we'll look at the note breakdown. So you have amberette, vanilla absolute, pink pepper, tobacco, cinnamon, benzoin, fig, Peru balsam, agarwood or oud, Tulu balsam, labdanum, cedar, and sandalwood. And if you really take account of everything I just said there, there's a lot of spicing components, some slightly gourmandish components, the tobacco obviously because it's in the name, and you have that oud. So you're gonna open up, and right here what I have in this right hand is what's starting to become a dry down, and I'll spray right here and I'll get there really, and you can see it right there, very strong opening. And this is borderline boozy when you get this opening right here, like so much so that if you didn't know it had no boozy accords in it, you would probably think it did. So the opening is strong, gives off this boozy vibe. The amberette is going to give you some animalic spice together with that pink pepper. But the vanilla absolute is going to start sweetening the fragrance up as soon as it starts. So it starts off really strong, boozy, spicy with a soft tone of vanilla in there, and immediately the tobacco starts coming up. That tobacco is going to be there the duration of the fragrance, which is why it is aptly named Tabac Doré. That tobacco is going to be with you the entirety of the fragrance. If you're not a tobacco fan, then you can go ahead and press pause or skip to the next video because it's not for you. If you do love and appreciate tobacco fragrances, then you really want to stick around, not just for the review, but for how this fragrance actually starts to transition. Once that tobacco kicks in, you're gonna get a lot of that spice from the opening. Plus, you're gonna get an introduction of the cinnamon. That benzoin and the vanilla play very well together. And you're gonna get a lot of those spices or that spicy feels and slightly animalic from that Peru balsam, and you're going to get a sense of creaminess. Now, I'm assuming that the sandalwood is what does that at the base, but it does it throughout the entire duration of the fragrance. So, again, going to the intro, if you look at all of the components in here, amberette, pink pepper, and the opening, cinnamon, and the base, Peru balsam, Tulu balsam, and the base. So you have a lot of spicy components at the top, at the middle, and at the base. And then you have that vanilla in the opening, you have that fig in the mid, and you have that labdanum in the base. So you have some gourmand components in the opening, the mid, and that sweetness in the base as well. And then you have that tobacco that lasts the duration of the entire fragrance with the addition of that oud, which is going to help give it that animalic tone the entire fragrance. But what happens once you get to the dry down, although you are going to get that raw tobacco feel, That sweetness from the vanilla is going to be amplified a little more. The fig pops out more, so you get a little softness and fruitiness of it. But it helps kind of to give throughout the entire fragrance that slight feel of booze in the background, although they never refer to any boozy notes. But if you know anything about the boozy notes, often they'll use that dried fruit to give that feel of boozy notes, and is doing it well here. And again, that sandalwood is going to help smooth out the entire fragrance, give it this really creamy feel. But ultimately, from opening until mid dry down at least, you are going to get a very strong tobacco fragrance. A lot of personality with this fragrance, loud. It's going to last hours and hours and hours, but it is a more mature fragrance. It is a tobacco spicy fragrance. So if you're not into any of that, then there's a lot of other tobaccos that that you might want to look into. Noxo is a perfect example for beginner fragrance. If you're into tobacco fragrances, or even Parfum de Marly's Herod. This is for a very particular kind of tobacco fragrance enthusiast. This is a darker fragrance. This is one that you want to wear in the winter time. This is one that you want to wear in the cooler weather for sure. But the difference between the opening and the mid is man, it really tells the story of someone who knows how to blend notes properly and take you through an experience through a fragrance. If what you want is spray something on yourself right now, and in 5 hours you smell the same, then you go to Macy's. And that's not a shot at that. It's just what it is. You go to Macy's, you go to the counter, you go to a fragrance that has a lot of synthetic ingredients and are not really going to change with you. But when you start dealing with a lot of naturals and this high quality fragrance, you're going to have a lot of stuff that's going to change on your skin. And that change, that evolution of the fragrance is what really makes these high valued fragrance. And this one right here is no exception to that rule. Tabac Doré is just an amazing high level tobacco fragrance, and high level fragrance period. And that combination of that tobacco with that oud and those slightly gourmand components. Again, it's not going to be too sweet, it's not going to be too gourmand. It's going to be spicy oud tobacco more than anything, with hints of booziness that is never really annotated in any of the notes. Overall, an amazing tobacco fragrance that can stand side to side with any strong oud fragrance. When you want to change, if you like those stronger, darker fragrances with a lot of strong oud components, but you want something different, something spicy, something a little more classy, gentlemanly like, then this is the one you want. Price point, I don't know off the top of my head right now, and I'm not gonna check it just for the time to keep it under 10 minutes, because I hear that I spend a lot of time doing these reviews. So it is a little pricier. You're probably gonna be looking at 300-ish, or 250 rather. I think they're in the 250s. So 250s for most Bortnikoffs. Amazing fragrance. If you are into tobacco, oud, and all the darker things in life when it comes to fragrance, you want to check this one out. I'm trying to keep it shorter and sweeter. So that's my review for Tabac Doré. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to DM me, add a question in the comment, like, subscribe, because it helps the channel grow. If you like these reviews, you'll get more from me if the channel is growing. So thank you for watching this. If you have more questions, hit me up. Fragged out, swagged out, and I'm out.